Hi, my name is Leslie, and this is a story of how I found myself living with Buddhist monks in a spiritual community in northern Thailand for 3 days. So, about 2 weeks ago, I was in Chiang Mai and I visited a village called Pa Pae. The journey from the heart of Chiang Mai to the village was about an hour and a half. The goal was to connect with myself on a deeper level, forget about the past and the future, disconnect from the craziness of the world, and live in the present moment. I wanted to deepen my meditation practice. The outcome, guys, was an experience that I now consider to be one of the most beautiful and memorable experiences of my life. It was truly one of a kind. I remember on my way out telling myself, Leslie, life is truly beautiful. Don't ever stop living. Don't ever stop experiencing things outside of your norm, outside of what you are comfortable with. So monks live a simple and minimalist lifestyle. They live a lifestyle of discipline, structure, and intentionality. This is reflected in when they start their day, what they eat, when they stop eating, and how they spend their day. So for 3 days, along with 53 others from around the world, I got to experience what it's like living like a monk. The retreat I attended is called Pa Pae Meditation Retreat. The monks offer this retreat in different parts of Thailand. They offer a 3-day structured one and a flexible one. So participants who attend the structured retreats have the options to stay as long as they want for the flexible retreat, where they don't necessarily have the same structure that they have in the 3 days. And you also have the opportunity to stay back and volunteer if you like. So the retreat is free, but they do request a 500 baht donation per night, which comes out to about 43 US dollars for a 3-night stay. That fee covers accommodation, feeding, and activities, which is a freaking steal. So Pa Pae community is very green, quiet, calm, and beautiful. There are tons of places to sit around, reflect, meditate, and enjoy nature. When I arrived at the community on my first day, I signed up, paid my donation, and changed into white outfits that all the participants wore for the rest of our stay. The intent of doing this, guys, is to create unity and minimize distractions of what others are wearing. After I got my outfit, I was accompanied to my house, which was a 2-story wooden house in the middle of the woods. I stayed at the lower level with 2 other girls, one being my roommate. The participants were separated into different living quarters, so men and women lived in separate areas, even those who went with their partners. The monks had their own separate quarters, but we all got to eat, meditate, and do activities together every day. The first day took a lot of adjustment for me, guys. If I'm honest, I wasn't feeling the experience for a lot of reasons. I had to share a bathroom with several other ladies, and even though the bathroom was clean when I arrived, I am particular about the upkeep of my bathroom, so I wasn't feeling the idea of sharing it with several other people. I also wasn't a fan of the bed. It was hard and uncomfortable, but I later learned that the beds are intentionally hard because in Buddhism, monks tend to sleep on hard surfaces because it is believed that hard surfaces have several benefits, including providing good support for the back, helping to improve posture. It is also said that sleeping on hard surfaces is a form of meditation because it encourages mindfulness. Truth be told, I actually enjoy sleeping on the floor and I prefer it in some cases, but I don't do well with sleeping on beds that aren't quite beds, if you know what I mean, and this is why I don't like air mattresses. But guys, with a quick mindset shift and a reminder to myself of my why, as in why I was there, I allowed myself to let go of all the things that I didn't like, of the fact that I wasn't in my comfort zone and fully immersed myself in the experience. And this is when I truly got to appreciate the gift of the experience. So our day every day started very early at 6 in the morning. All the participants gathered for our first meditation session of the day, which was hosted by a monk. Before we started a session, we had to bow 3 times to Buddha and 3 times to the teaching monk. This is not a practice of worship, but a sign of respect in Asian culture. So after meditating, we ate breakfast around 7:30 a.m. Even though I had a mindset shift, the early morning, guys, was a real struggle for me because I don't typically wake up early and my body was having a hard time adjusting immediately. I also don't like eating very early. So every day I ended up eating fruits and drinking coffee for breakfast instead of the full meals that is served. Luckily, there was a really good coffee shop that sells coffee that you will find at a typical shop. They also ask for a donation for each cup of coffee you drink. In my opinion, you were essentially buying the coffee, but it was so inexpensive, so no big deal. Lunch was at 12 p.m., which was the final meal of the day. So all the meals were vegetarian. We ate buffet style, and everyone had to wash their plates after eating. We also had afternoon and evening meditation sessions with free time during the day for each of us to do whatever we wanted to do, which includes journaling, reflecting, meditating, or whatever. They also gave us the choice to use our phones if we wanted to and as much as we wanted to. So I mainly used my free time to catch up on sleep and journal. They also encouraged us to be as silent as possible. We had a full day dedicated to silence, but participants had the choice to talk if they wanted to. I was definitely one of those who talked here and there. So one of my favorite activities of the day was daily monk chats, which we got to sit around and listen to words of wisdom from the monks. We also had some storytelling and Q&A sessions where the monks got to tell us about their lives. This part was super engaging. People got to ask really personal questions about their lives, their struggles, and seek advice on how to overcome issues. I like that the monks weren't so dogmatic in their responses. They weren't so focused on Buddhism, rather on wisdom and how to live. I remember one of the monks even referencing a teaching of Jesus Christ, which I appreciated because I am somebody who I'm not tied to any one religion. I believe in a higher power. I believe in God, and I tend to pull wisdom and inspirations from different religions, basically to live my life the best way I can and in ways that aligns with my values. The monks are pretty normal people. I was shocked how normal and relatable they are. For some reason, going into the retreat, I thought they were going to be so quiet in their heads and out of touch from reality, sort of like on cloud zen or something. But they come from all walks of life and they had really interesting story and relatable stories about the events that led them to become monks. One of the most memorable monk activities was going with them for alms round. This is when they walk around in the villages receiving donations from the villagers. This reminded me so much of my childhood growing up as a Catholic. Every Sunday, the congregation would give gifts or offerings to the priest, which included food and toiletries. Watching how delightful the villagers were to give to their monks reminded me of how my mom took so much pride and joy in giving to the priests. When it came to the actual meditation, the Pa Pae Meditation community uses the middle way technique, which essentially means finding your center in the middle of extremes. So, in practical and simplified terms, it just means that finding what's best for you. So when you meditate using the middle way technique, it is important to find a posture that is relaxing, comfortable, and that will help you remain still. So the goal is stillness, not really a perfect posture, but stillness, if that makes any sense. So I personally find that when I lay on my back and put my hands to my side, that helps remain still than any other position. The other important part of this technique is to find a single point or object of concentration when you meditate. Some people use mantras to focus, and your mantra could literally be anything. You could literally say something like Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. And the faster you say your mantra, the less room you leave to allow thoughts and other things to enter your mind and break your concentration. Some people also use visualization, like they would visualize a scene and an object. So the monk said this is an advanced technique and not a lot of beginners are able to achieve visualization. I know I'm not one of those who can visualize very well. For me, what works is to focus on sounds, particularly the sound of nature like water flowing and also the sounds of birds. What's important is for you to experiment with different techniques and find what works for you. Find your center. So we also learn different ways to meditate, which I found to be very interesting. We learn walking meditation, where you walk on your bare foot, you feel the toughness of the ground, and use every movement in your foot as an object of concentration. We learned fire meditation. I loved staring at the flames and using it as my object of concentration. It was actually quite relaxing and quite weirdly satisfying. My favorite day was when we went to a waterfall to meditate. I was truly in my element because of the sound of the water. Literally, everybody knocked out. People were flat out sleeping. Overall, guys, the retreat was one I would never forget. I loved that on our last day, we got to make wishes, light up lanterns, and release it into the universe. I thought this was a beautiful way to end such an adventure. Life after Pa Pae for me has been more of me fighting to be consistent about meditating. So I've been trying to meditate for an hour every day, first thing when I wake up in the morning, which is what the monks advise us to do. They also advise us to once a year take a spiritual retreat to sharpen our meditation practice. Hearing all the stories about the impact of how meditation transformed their lives really motivated me to take meditation really seriously. So these days, my goal is to use meditation to help me be more present, detached from things that I cannot control, and not to worry about the future. If you are ever in Chiangmai area or somewhere in the northern Thailand region and you are looking for a fulfilling experience and a spiritual experience that's going to bring you to connect with yourself on a deeper level, I will highly encourage you to check out the Pa Pae Meditation Retreat. If anything, it is free and you have nothing to lose. You don't have to stay for the entire 3 day. You can literally leave after the first day if you're not feeling it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming with me on this experience. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. As always, take care of yourselves. I love you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.